domestic debt now makes up 85% of government debt, while the foreign ones, listen to this one, it's just now 15%. Thank you. Now, by paying off this debt, we have shown the world and everybody else.
This is what happens when you fix the system and not the symptom. In Namibia, on the 31st of October, they announced officially they have paid $750 million in the Eurobond, and that's foreign debts. Now, these are the same type of debts that Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa keeps going and asking for and begging and pleading for and saying, hey, we need foreign investors. While we do that in South Africa, Namibia is now saying they're shifting their focus to local financing, aiming to strengthen their domestic market and reduce foreign debt exposure. And she did this all in 7 months and 15 days. 7 months and 15 days. See, now all you've been doing is incurring debts after debts after debts after debts. Well done, Namibia. Yo! And for those that do not know the president of Namibia, this is Honorable Nandi. They call it Triple N. The president that did it, the first female president in Africa. Hey, guys, this is big. First female president in Africa to do this. 30 years democracy there in South Africa, and we've just been growing in debt. Nago, I want you to see that we are growing in debt. And this lady took 7 months and 15 days to clear up their Eurobond debt. Just 7 months. You know what they say? They say nobody wants to fight poverty, but nobody wants to be poor. To meet the finance minister and social grant manager, Honorable Erica. Ladies, you did that. You did that.
Finally, there is some more information. According to the Namibian Sun, the president fired Natangwe Itete as the Minister of Industry, Mines and Energy over allegations of violating a presidential moratorium on oil deals and renewing an expired oil block license without prior approval. The Namibian Sun also says that Itete recently took a trip to Angola, which also did not sit well with the president. It is also alleged that oil matters were discussed in Angola without prior consent from the president. That's because oil matters fall directly under her. So an exploration license, which was owned by Paragon Holdings, had expired in 2011. And the now former minister, he renewed it 2 months ago. Now, with everything going on in the oil and gas industry, of course, a situation like this angered the president. In an official statement by the presidency, it says that the presidency reaffirms its commitment to sound governance, accountability, and the effective implementation of national priorities to achieve Namibia's vision of sustainable and inclusive development. The fact that they decided to word it like that makes one think that maybe he did things he wasn't supposed to do. But I'm just going to sit here and wait for the story to unfold.
My people, Namibia just quietly did something no other country in the world has ever done.
As president, I'm happy to highlight our historical milestone. Namibia now has a female president, vice president, Speaker of the National Assembly, and Secretary General of the SWAPO Party, the ruling party in Namibia. And women hold 57% of the cabinet, including key ministries such as finance, health, education, international relations, and trade.
That's right. Namibia is now the first country in the world where women hold all the top government positions. President, Vice President, Speaker of the National Assembly, Secretary General of the ruling party. And get this, The cabinet is majority women, 57%. And it doesn't stop there. Namibia has closed 81.1% of its gender gap, ranking 8th globally and number 1 in Africa. That's not just a headline, that's a blueprint. But you won't see it in the evening news because it's not the kind of progress we want you to know Africa is making. So the next time they tell you Africa is behind, remind them of Namibia, the small southern African country where women literally rule. And share this video to let the world know.
Our governments, to include Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Botswana, have agreed to allow citizens to travel between their countries using only their national identity documents.
Citizens can use national ID cards instead of passports for entry into the other countries. The agreement became effective in early September 2025.
The agreement is part of efforts to promote regional integration and streamline travel for citizens within Southern Africa.
Who says Africa will not be good? Africa will not move forward. Let's listen to this address by President of Namibia.
My fellow Namibians, and to the great sons and daughters of Africa who are listening today, I speak to you not as a mere politician, but as a servant of our people, as a daughter of this soil, and as a leader who refuses to watch her country's destiny be stolen by greed, corruption, and foreign manipulation. Today, I stand before you with a message that will mark a new era for our beloved Namibia. I have taken the bold and final decision to assume full control of the Ministry of Mines and Energy, effective immediately. From this moment onward, the resources beneath our feet, our diamonds, our uranium, our oil, our lithium, our copper, will no longer be treated as personal property by politicians or playgrounds for foreign companies. They belong to the people of Namibia and no one else. And as of today, I am announcing that the Deputy Prime Minister, Nahtangwe Itete, who also served as Minister of Energy and Mines, is hereby dismissed from his position, effective immediately. He has betrayed the trust of the Namibian people. He has placed personal greed above national duty. He has engaged in corrupt dealings that have undermined the sovereignty of our country and the dignity of our citizens. I will not stand for it, not under my watch. Ms. Itete, you will face a full and transparent inquiry. You will answer before the Namibian people. You will answer for every dollar, every contract, every foreign handshake that sought to sell our resources to outsiders for your own benefit. We are cleaning our house, and no one is above the law. Let me make this absolutely clear to every minister, every governor, every senior official sitting comfortably in their offices. If you are not working for the Namibian people, you will be gone. If you think you can use your position to enrich yourself, to take bribes, to sign deals behind closed doors with foreign interests, then let me remind you, your time is over. I was not elected to serve foreign corporations. I was not chosen by my people to be a puppet for the West or for anyone else. I was elected to serve Namibia, and I will do exactly that. For far too long, Africa has been a continent of wealth, but a continent of poor people. A land blessed with treasures beyond imagination, yet burdened with poverty that should never have existed. From the sands of the Sahara to the rivers of the Zambezi, our soil hides riches that could transform the world. And yet, the children of the soil go to bed hungry. How can it be that a continent so rich in gold, diamonds, oil, copper, uranium, and fertile land still has millions living in poverty? How can it be that the very nations that extract our resources live in abundance, while we are left with the dust of our own inheritance? For far too long, we have watched foreign countries grow rich from our diamonds, our gold, our oil, our uranium, our rare earth minerals, while our children sit in darkness, while our farmers struggle to feed their families, while our youth migrate because there are no opportunities at home. This is not destiny, this is design. It is a system built to keep Africa poor and dependent, while others feast on our labor, our resources, and our silence. And they come to us with contracts written in fine print, with promises of development, investment, and aid. But behind those promises lie exploitation and deceit. They tell us they will help us build, yet they leave us with debt. They promise to transfer knowledge, yet they take our raw materials and give us finished products at 10 times the cost. They talk of partnership, but in truth they want ownership. Ownership of our mines, our ports, our energy, our very sovereignty, and we, for too long, have allowed it. We signed deals that made us servants in our own homes. We celebrated foreign investments that built nothing but dependence. We allowed leaders who bowed before foreign interests to sign away our future. But that era, that shameful era, must end. It must end because our people are waking up. It must end because we can no longer justify poverty in the midst of such abundance. It must end because every time a Namibian child studies by candlelight while our uranium powers foreign cities, it is an insult to our dignity. Every time our youth beg for jobs while foreign companies control our industries, it is a betrayal of our sovereignty. Every time we watch our minerals shipped out in raw form while we import finished goods, it is a reminder that we are still chained, not by guns, but by greed and complacency. This injustice must end, and it begins here. In Namibia, it begins with us saying no more. No more signing away our resources for empty promises. No more watching others profit while our people starve. No more leaders enriching themselves while their people suffer. It begins with us taking control, full control of what is rightfully ours. We cannot build our future on dependence. We cannot build our prosperity on exploitation. The wealth beneath our feet must serve the people who walk on it, not foreign corporations, not corrupt elites, not outsiders who think Africa is theirs to plunder. Namibia will be the line in the sand. From this soil, a message will rise. Africa will no longer be a victim of its own wealth. The diamonds of Namibia will shine for Namibians. The oil of Namibia will power Namibian homes. The uranium of Namibia will fuel Namibian progress. The lithium of Namibia will charge Namibian industries. We will no longer allow the sweat of our people to enrich others. We will no longer let our resources be the reason for our suffering. This is not just a matter of economics, it is a matter of dignity. For decades, Africa's wealth has been a curse because it was controlled by others. But today we will make it our blessing because it will be controlled by us. We will turn our natural riches into schools, hospitals, factories, and opportunities. We will make sure that every Namibian, from the miner in Sumed to the fisherman in Luderitz, feels the value of what this nation holds. This fight is not just for us. It is for every African nation that has been robbed, deceived, and left behind. Namibia will rise, and when we rise, others will follow. We will prove that the wealth of Africa can finally make Africans rich. Not foreigners, not corrupt elites, but ordinary men and women who work, who dream, who build. This injustice must end. And I declare before the world, it will end. Starting here, starting now, starting with Namibia. We sit on minerals worth trillions of dollars. Trillions. Enough to transform every corner of this country, from the deserts of the south to the plains of the north. Enough to build schools, hospitals, factories, roads, and industries. Enough to guarantee every Namibian child a future filled with hope and dignity. Yet for years, these riches have been stolen through corrupt deals, through exploitative contracts, and through leaders who bow before foreign powers instead of standing tall before their own people. That era ends today. I will personally oversee the Ministry of Mines and Energy. I will ensure that every contract is reviewed, that every foreign company operating in Namibia respects our laws, our environment, and our people.
Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you haven't followed this page, kindly follow, like, save, and share. Until next time, you're welcome.
Why are you allowing your workers to speak in outside Afrikaans? Don't speak Afrikaans or whatever the case is. My question is, why are your employees sleeping behind the car while the two of you sleep in luxury? Because what?
You should come today.
No, that should come today. This is absolute nonsense. You guys think this shit will continue in this country? Hello, Meneer. I'm talking to you. I don't believe you. You don't do this. Crazy, sir. You don't treat workers like that, sir. What is this country?
Africa is getting there. Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe can now move freely with each other through the countries with only their ID card. I didn't say this. Watch the video.
News from our continent now. The presidents of Zimbabwe and Botswana have agreed to the free movement of their citizens. So people traveling between Zimbabwe and Botswana no longer need to use passports.
What a time to be an African. This thing is sweet me for my body. You cannot understand. So now Zimbabweans can just take their ID, go to the airport and fly. For people that want to fly, because it's very close. The places are close. Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, they closed. Very near. So Zimbabweans can take their ID now and say, listen, I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, take my bath, I want to drink tea in Namibia. They just go to Namibia with their ID. Reach there, enjoy. Might be call one of your side chicks in Botswana and say, hey, what's going on? I'm okay, I have a very big matako, come and enjoy. You just take taxi straight to Botswana with your ID as a Zimbabwean. And Botswana can do same thing. A Botswana guy can have a side chick in Zimbabwe. Go there in the morning, enjoy. Have another side chick in Namibia. Go there and also enjoy. I'm using this because you guys like bad things. If I want to say it's about business and trade and things, you guys will not want to listen, will not want to understand. So as I'm talking about cheating, I know you guys will pay attention. But anyway, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been dying for it to happen. Africans have been crossing borders just to have a good life, just to trade with each other. And this thing is happening in front of our face. So shout out to Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Namibia for making this happen. But hey, look at this picture up here. You can see how close the countries are. How close? And in Berlin Conference 1884, they partition Africa. They say, hey, you have border here. Don't go here. You don't go here. And then they go to their own country. They join, make one. They're telling us not to join each other. And this same thing has been growing with some of our brothers. Now they're trying to put border. Hey, we should stay in our country. We don't want people to come in our country. It's ignorance. They don't get sense. You understand? But our politicians are beginning to rise up. And as soon as they're rising up, Africa is getting better. Okay? Things will get better. Yes. Once things get better, we'll be traveling to African countries, different African countries freely. Movement will be freely. So remember, I'm your boy DJ Fabeke, part of the mix. This life not be joke. I bring you news and update from Africa, but I'm not a journalist.
You know why black people are scared of white people? It's not a joke. Even me. When I see a white person, my attitude changes. Like, we're traumatized people. You like, then my political conscience has to kick in. Aye, don't try those things with me, man. But otherwise, the first reaction is we need to get ourselves.
Accents change.
Yes. So I've got a white security guy. When he sees that there's going to be a problem there, and he's working from behind, he moves to the front. They're going to open.
Yeah.
And then I said to him, no, don't move to the front. Let this one go. You're going to find that guy still explaining where he was born and
Namibia made a record one-day debt repayment of $750 million, about 14.3 billion Namibian dollars, marking the largest single-day debt maturity in the history of the southern African country. This reduces external debt, shifts borrowing to local markets, and shows global investors that Namibia is fiscally responsible. It also improves the country's credit rating outlook, currently BB, by Fitch, making future borrowing cheaper.
Domestic debt now makes up 85% of government debt, while the foreign ones, listen to this one, it's just now 15%. Thank you. Now, by paying off this debt, we have shown the world and everybody else that Namibia is trustworthy. Namibia and its government is trustworthy and can manage its money well. This helps keep our economy strong and protect us from sudden changes in the global market. Most of our government debt is now owed by our local banks, not foreign ones. This means we are less at risk from exchange rate fluctuations and more money stays in Namibia for development. We promise to pay back what we borrowed, and we have done so.
What's up, beautiful and amazing souls. Guys, in today's video, we are going to talk about Namibia. Namibia is in southern part of Africa, and a big part of it contains the Namib Desert, one of the biggest desert in the world or in Africa. And guys, you know, Namibia is a place full of Germans. They were colonized by Germans, and if you try to understand even how they name their towns, you will see that it contains German words. So the current president of Namibia, Nandi Ndaitwa, an inspiration to women all over the world. This particular president has really changed how Namibia has become. You know, we have had a very positive perspective of Namibia just because of Nandi Ndaitwa, and that is because since she came into power, she actually changed so many things for the good of Namibians, and it has been great. First of all, remember she introduced free education. Later on, she was like, when it comes to the oil and the resources of this country, it's no longer going to be under the presidency, the executive. It's going to be in a certain ministry, and whoever will be found corrupt, you will go home. True to her words, there was a minister that was recently got into some funny dealings. I know you have watched a couple of videos, and even here you'll find them, people talking about that particular guy in the ministry. And the minister tried to do some shagala bagala kind of situations, going to neighboring countries, Angola, making deals to steal from the country. But guess what? He was found, and he was stripped of the position, and the position was given to someone else. Who wouldn't want to have such kind of a president? Because, guys, in Africa, so many things do happen. See what happened in Tanzania recently. Who expected that a female president would be a dictator, shutting down internet, mass analyzing, and probably trying to silence people? Even the inauguration, it wasn't kind of celebration, because it was restricted, and the security was tight, like they didn't want chaos here and there. So this president forced herself into power, the president of Tanzania. And I don't know, how do you rule a country where you are not loved? Like, people have come out to demonstrate against you becoming the president. Like, they don't want. Guys, what happened in Tanzania? They actually cooked out. I mean, they just came out with a number of people that will be vying in quotes, because of course these other people never ever even wanted to be president in the first place. You see, the government telling probably you, just from this party, register as a candidate, and you don't go to campaign, nobody knows you. The only people that are well known in the politics space are the opposition leaders, and this opposition, the main opposition, of course, and that is Chadema of Tundu Lissu. But when they felt like the competitions were gonna be too stiff, they decided to ban them from participating in the elections, which is really unfair. And there we are seeing the rise of a female dictator. But look at Namibia. It's totally different. In Namibia, the president female, vice president female, like, what she's trying to do is to empower the girl child. She trusts leadership in fellow ladies, which is something very nice, because the world has always looked down on ladies, on women. And in some African countries, women are categorized as a special group, because when you are applying for probably businesses in the government for like tenders, we'll have special groups. This job is meant for special groups, like women, people living with disabilities, the youth. And I wonder, because in developed countries, women are extremely empowered. You cannot even compare them with men. Like, they're just of the equal. They're equal with men. So, major breaking news from Namibia: the president managed to pay 750 million Namibian dollars, not really like Namibian dollars, to come to around a billion something there. So the government was able within 7 months to pay 750 million Eurobond debt, and it's one of the most amazing feeling, good feeling, even for me over here. And I mean, just imagine living in a country that, foreign debt is around 15%. Domestic debt, like the government borrowing from within the local banks, is 85%. That's a very, very positive thing to see. And it's really encouraging. And when I was trying to follow up on this Namibian story, I felt like, oh my God, why was I never born a Namibian? I wish I lived there. I wish I was born there. And I remember that Namibia is slightly 2.5 million people there. Like that's their total population. They are very few because if you look at the streets of Namibia, you will barely see many people. The streets are empty, but the country is beautiful, extremely beautiful. So this story about the country being able to pay 750 million Eurobond, $750 million Eurobond. It's awesome. It's awesome. That means that in the next few years, as long as Nandi Ndaitwa continues to be the president, they are going to pay off the loan, and now they'll be depending on their country like 100%. You see what's happening in Burkina Faso. That is where Namibia is heading. At this particular moment in Burkina Faso, they don't owe any developed country even a shilling, even a dollar or a euro. They're like, we are paying everything to hell with all the agreements that we've ever had with you. We want to do everything on our own, and it's happening. Burkina Faso is growing slowly by slowly. The same thing will happen to Cameroon and Madagascar, Tanzania, Uganda. Oh my God, I don't know. So there was this opening of borders between Namibia, Zimbabwe, and was it Zambia, the neighboring countries. And I really felt good because if there is something that Africa really needs, it's open borders. I always talk about Europe because in Europe, you can live in one country and work in another. And you just take a train or a flight and go. You don't really have to produce your ID or your visa or your passport in order for you to travel. As long as you just have one document, you are free to live anywhere in Europe. And it's one of the best feelings that a human being can ever have. Because you can imagine being able to do business from any country freely without, many stories here and there. I remember just recently this year, guys, the president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu, she was like, there are specific businesses that I don't want foreigners to do. For instance, hawking and probably working in salons. You see these manual jobs. She was like, I am banning any foreigner from doing such kind of a job. But if you look at the neighboring countries, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzanians are doing the same kind of job that their president is refusing other people to do. It was really unfair. She was starting a war. So anyway, let's go back to Namibia. We go to Zambia and also Botswana, because that is Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. They drafted an agreement where the citizens from the three countries can actually travel within those countries with an ID. If you are a Zimbabwean, you just use the Zimbabwe ID. If you are a Namibian, you use a Namibian ID to go to Zimbabwe. If you are from Botswana, you use your ID to go to Zimbabwe or Namibia. That's a very, very positive energy. And I hope one day, one time, we are going to have one united Africa with one leader, one currency, one army, and I know it's gonna be the best of the best of the best. So if we choose to unite, then all is gonna be well. Thank you so much. If you watched the video up to this point, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.